recording. We're going to go ahead and do this 43. Oh, well, the Perma Serenity, they nerfed it. If you guys don't know, I'm doing a Zuni monster build right now in the PTR. Going to do Grey Rift level 43, see if I can pass it. Somebody asked me a question about Serenity. Serenity, to me, I didn't care. Like for instance, like I play Witch Doctor class because I like building the community. It's a fun class to play. And I like, you know, seeing how high I can get solo off my own ambitions. I don't care for necessarily having to do like the group thing to get to the top. I just want to just be like, man, what did I do this season? Okay, you know, I played a little solo. I was able to meet some new friends. We did a lot of different carry runs. We helped a lot of people learn about the Witch Doctor class. A lot of people playing a lot of different builds. We're sharing information. We're growing the community. Great, cool. Oh man, I ended up getting top 15. Great. I mean, that's how I view it. Because right now, like, you can't really take it too seriously until, like, I would say probably season 5 when they get all the kinks out, because there's always something, some kind of exploit or something crazy. But my point is, I enjoy playing seasons because it's a new, fresh start, and I can try different builds. Like this season, no, this is not seasons, this is PTR. But on my seasons on North America, I was like, oh, cool, I can run Jade. I can run a Jade build with Wormwood, and that will be the one build I run this whole season, and I'll help people out. So for me, if another class gets some crazy high damaging spec, I personally don't care, because to me, just like everybody wanted to say about with the auction house and explode, you know, don't worry about everybody else. But the funny thing is, everybody does worry about everybody else when another class is doing better. I don't care. I just literally like playing the Witch Doctor class. I enjoy it. I enjoy going to pets. I like pushing it to its limits. I like all the different builds. So if another class gets a build that does like the Sever thing, I don't care. Okay, cool. You guys did level 63, great. I don't think the community is going to care much for it, but, you know, like, it is what it is. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, I took that fire to the face. That wasn't good. So for me, at least, I'm not, I don't care. I'm just like, cool, you know? It's just, for me, at least, I'm happy with Witch Doctor that they added so much new cool stuff, and I get to test and play things around. Oh yeah, it increases the Big Bad Voodoo Murr Master, but in all honesty, I've tested it with the SMK, or with the Tasker and Theo, and ran no Unity, and the damage was nice, but the thing I noticed, this is only 42, 43, eventually even with Taskers, maybe you can do 46, 47, right, but if we want something that can push 50 as pets really need either a big damage boost on the 6-piece set of Zuni, or they need cleave. If they had AoE cleave, I think pets would be fine. I was doing a small man's physical build, and what I'd realized is even just running the Gargantuan with Cleave or Humongoid, which is a cold rune, and I had a bunch of damage for the Gargantuan, it was phenomenal. The Cleave damage is great. Cleave is really good. Like, Cleave on pets could fix a lot of problems. But the problem is, you got a pet that's doing like 106 million crits sometimes, they have Cleave that can get kind of crazy, and you got 23 fetishes doing it, so they need to do it in a way that's appropriate. You know? So my whole thing is this, it's just, I think the only thing pets need is a little bit of AoE, or buffing the damage straight up with pets. That'll fix the problem. I don't think it should be the most overpowered build in the game, because especially a lot of builds are like, if the most overpowered or most highest damaging builds in game should be the builds that make you think, do I Spirit Walk now, or do I Horrify now? Am I chaining my spells correctly? That's the kind of build that should reward you. High risk, high reward builds should reward you with high end damage and crazy stuff. Pets, this is like a real chilled back, laid back build. It shouldn't be able to just face roll and do level 55, you know? Because then if somebody says, okay, I can go pet build, I can do 50, or I can go Jade, which breaks my fucking brain, and I can only do 53 or 52, no one's gonna care. They're just gonna do pet build. They're not gonna do that. Like I said, I always strive for balance. Hi Debo, I just found an ancient furnace. Invent life per hit. Reroll life per hit, yes. If it's ancient, you should take into consideration of doing cooldown reduction, but if you really want that extra damage, you can. But if you're going to use it for Jade, cooldown reduction. Anything else, I would say get percent damage. And then you got to gift that sucker and get a socket on it. Alright, so I'm fighting on the staircase here. See if I can bring some of the fight down here. Not the greatest to fight on the staircase, but I think the fetishes, they're in the zone right now. They're doing their crits, so we'll be okay. No, I haven't tried Dagger or Darts or Carnival yet. I don't think it'll be too great, but I could try if people really wanted me to, because there's a lot of stuff on PTR, and that would be another good informational guide to put out there so people, because the thing I'm trying to do is I do this full time, right? So I figure it's like if I make a guide for something, you can just watch the video on your second monitor or just when you're chilling at home or at work on a break and learn about the new content. And then when you go to PTR, you know exactly what you need to go for, what items you need to do, and what I was gearing, and maybe you have a different idea and you might try it a different way, and that's all I try to do. So if people want me to, I will. I'll test it. I imagine it would do pretty okay. It'd be pretty interesting though. It would definitely be pretty interesting. The biggest thing is like, what would the mana spender be? Because you need a mana spender that's like, oh, I died. That's embarrassing. You need a mana spender that actually gets the job done. Like, it needs to like work with the darts. Because remember, darts is not a mana spender. It doesn't cost mana. So, I mean, Piranha's a Paranado, that's a good mana spender, but then again, can you keep it all up all the whole time? Maybe frozen Piranhas, maybe instead of using Zombie Wall. I'd have to really figure out another mana spender and stuff like that. I think if you were to use Zombie with the Piranhas, that would be good, the Zombie Piranhas. But the big problem is, with the Zombie Piranhas is that it doesn't put everything into one spot. The nice thing about Paranado with the Carnival build, it makes it really nice to AoE everything down. You know, with this build, you don't need to do that because the Fetish attack their each individual target. So if you could figure out a way to still use Piranhas of Paranado and maybe use it often, and then somehow incorporate a mana spender to the build, I think it could do very well for itself. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you do have Haunt. Maybe you do use the belt and you just have Haunt on the right click and then you just dart everything down. I don't know, it'd be kind of weird. And then you got to ask yourself, with the Carnival build, am I going to run, you know, Fetish Army, or am I going to try to use the Belt of Transcendence? I don't think you should use the Belt of Transcendence with Carnival build. So it just brings up a lot of interesting questions with using it with the Zuni Masa, you know? Because it could still do, it could do 45 right now without Zuni Masa and the extra effects. So you think about it, the only point of you getting the extra 2 pieces of Zuni Masa is to get the 150% damage when you actually use your mana spenders. But think about it, what mana spenders can we use? Can we still uphold the AoE damage and stuff like that? Like, it's just a lot of good questions. Now, what you could do is run Grave Injustice or Piranhas and Paranado, run the 6-piece set and just get a real high cooldown reduction so you can keep popping off Piranhas or Paranado. That would probably be the smart thing. That would be pretty cool. And then, you know, use that as a mana spender, but then again, I mean, you still gotta have Fetish Army. But do you rock the belt that gives you the guaranteed Fetish every time you Piranhas or Paranado? Maybe you add something else that casts mana? You know, something like that. If you figure that all out in terms of basically making it, because if you could use it, oh, I don't even know if you would need to use it with Cloth of Transcendent, because with Carnival build, all you need is just Pierce the Veil. You want your spirit, you want the Pierce the Veil. What else do you want? You want the Fetish Sycophants, you want the Gruesome Feast, and you want the Spirit Vessel. I think that's what everybody uses, because you're just using all your damage through fetishes. You don't need Midnight Feast, you don't need nothing else like that, so yeah, I guess you could still use the fetishes. Maybe you even do still use the belt, so you get an extra fetish with the Piranhas and Paranado. I think that would be cool, but then again, you lose out on the Witching Hour. Witching Hour is very good. So there's a lot of debatable stuff, you know, to use the Cloth of Transcendence or to not use the Cloth of Transcendence, but I think you would still use fetish. I think you would use both. The Cloth of Transcendence would just add an additional fetish, so every time you cast Piranhas and Paranado, which would help with uptime. And I think that, you know, I think it would be pretty decent. But also, most importantly, the mana spenders. The mana spenders are real serious. But then if you use Piranhas and Paranado, that's a mana spender. Hits multiple targets, puts them all to one place, and then you just AoE them down. Yeah, I can see it working with that. But for me, I'm kind of just more in tune with using the canes and stuff, you know. Now that you have Zuni Masa pants, I mean, there's a lot of different things with Carnival you could do now. You could rock the Carnival pants. You could run the Cane's 2-piece on your shoes and your gloves, and you can run a Homunculus now with the Carnival. Do you want to run a Homunculus for the damage amp? I think that would be pretty cool. Sacrifice a dog, get the extra damage amp for that. And now they got the Homunculus down to every 2 seconds. You could sack a dog and get that extra damage. That might be better with Carnival. You know? Could you imagine that if you had a damage amp with Carnival? Do you even really want to go Zuni Masa all the way? Because now with the Zuni Masa on the pants, that opens up a lot of different possibilities. Put them on the pants, drop the offhand, boom. Now you got Homunculus. Do you still want to use the 6-piece bonus? You know? Well, the thing about that King Gaia, I don't think that ring is going to go through. I think they're going to nerf that ring a little bit. That's why I'm not messing with that, or the one that has a 1-second cooldown reduction. Because back in the day with the original Enforcer Gym, what they actually had before is he basically said with the thing he said was the Broken Promises ring, which makes it so that every 5 consecutive hits that you do, you get 100% critical chance increase for 3 seconds. The problem with that is they had something like that, but in the form of pets. Back in the day, they had it so that the pets, the Enforcer Gym, the first one I do believe, was pets have a 100% critical chance rate. No, I think it was 40% critical chance rate, right? And, you know, the first thing was like, you know, increased pet damage. Secondary was 40% critical chance for pets. And then that made it nutty because a lot of witch doctors start basically giving up all their critical chance for more critical damage and other stats to make their pets do more damage. Blizzard didn't like that. And I do believe they cut it from that to, they changed the Enforcer Gym for being, you know, increased pet damage and also, you know, 40% increased pet critical chance. They switched it to pets are now invincible. Then they didn't like that, the pets being invincible. Then they changed it down to pets, you know, take a mitigated damage of 25% or whatever, right? Or 50%, and then it got bumped down to 25. So, based on how Blizzard's balanced before, I don't think they'll like people actually making weird gear rolls on their gear, because all you would do is just stack attack speed and damage, average damage, raw damage, whatever you can get, have no critical chance, and you'd just be doing, you'd always have 100% uptime, because as soon as it wears off, you would instantly hit 5 consecutive hits with a fast attack speed bill, and then you would have 100% critical chance, and then the damage would be monstrous. So, the whole point is, I don't think it's going to make it live server. Now, if Blizzard states officially somewhere in a blue pool saying we like this, then okay, then I'll make a guide about it and I'll use it in the build. But until then, I don't know if I want to use it. And then plus on top of that, you're already using Ring of Royal Grandeur, right? To get the bonuses of the Zuni Masa, and then you're still, you know, you're still hampered by that decision of, okay, well, if you're going to use a 6-piece set, you got to use Unity and you got to use Ring of Royal Grandeur. And if you alter, now if you do use the pants though, if you use the pants, the offhand, the shoes and all that, you couldn't run the Hamakas, but what you could do is actually you could run Broken Ring of Promises or whatever with the Unity Ring. That would work out because then you wouldn't need the Ring of Royal Grandeur. So that does bring some different options and stuff like that. But with stuff like that, or like, you know, randomly reduce the cooldown of 1 second of one of your random skills, or, you know, reduce the base cooldown of all your skills by 6, or reduce like the cooldown of 6 seconds for all skills. That kind of stuff kind of sits me and makes me look at it like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna make it through. Just like the focus and restraint, I look at it and I'm like, I don't think that's gonna make it through. You know. So my whole point is just, yeah, you know. So with the Broken Promises ring, I could see them doing something like, when you get 5 attacks that are not crit, then it gives you the 100% for 3 seconds. This effect cannot occur more than once every 20 seconds. I could see that, or once every 15 or 10 seconds. I could see them doing that. But I mean, because if that ring gets off the way it does, everybody, if they can fit into their build, they're just going to run that ring, drop all their critical chance, and just duly do some monstrous builds. Pretty much. So basically, if you drop all your critical chance and build critical damage, that build will be really nutty. But what they can do, like I said, is every time when you do they have a counter, right? How about every 10 hits that are non-critical, you know, you get a boost in your critical hit damage, and you get a big boost in your critical chance for like the next, I don't know, 15 seconds or 30 seconds or 20 seconds. This effect cannot occur more than once every minute or something. They could do something along like that and still make the ring very viable, but just in all honesty, that's crazy. It's just crazy. You don't ever want players like basically basing their whole gear options around one specific item, because then it just gets really silly and out of whack, and it's just kind of weird. I think I have enough time to beat this guy. It's as long as the fetishes can get on the right target. A couple fetishes going off to kill the little guys over here, not bad. Ooh, and they give health globe. That's great. Good DPS boost. 59 seconds. I think I got this 43 under wraps, guys. I think we got this. Very easy. Good run. Good damage. Easy Rift Guardian. I think we got this. Yeah, and we're going to have a little bit of time to spare, which is nice. Hopefully we can get another health globe. You know me, I love me some health globes. Oh, another health globe. Great. So, looks like I will be uploading this video to YouTube. 43 complete with the Zuni Masa 6-piece. Still has a ways to go, but, see, that's a glitch. See, you see that? That's what it does. See, I gotta post that again. Blizzard needs to fix that. My Hex, if a monster has, you see that? If a monster has, if a Greater Rift Guardian is next to a bunch of little mobs, Hex does affect it. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna cut that part out with the video and showcase that part and submit it to Diablo forums on the PTR so they can fix that. Hex should not hex a Rift Guardians. If the Rift Guardian has a couple monsters around it that are non-Rift Guardian monsters, when it hexes the Greater Rift Guardian as well. See, that's the kind of shit. I'm not gonna try to exploit it or nothing. I just want, see, you guys all saw that shit. I want everybody to know about that, and we need to fix that before it hits live. See, that's the point of playing PTR, to find shit like that. We're testing the 6-piece Zuni set. I just did 43. I'm pretty happy with it. They can improve the damage and add some cleaves and stuff, but it's pretty legit. Got my little 43. Oh, it hasn't updated yet. I got a 43, 1410. So that puts me at rank 14. Not that it matters much on PTR anyway. No, it's not Fate of the Fel. It's just a cool little dagger that looks pretty awesome. Well, my whole point is this. You know what they can do with the Broken Promises ring, Cyber Mini? They can make it so that this attack, make it so that, oh, Fate of Fel, I picked up, yeah. They can make it so that you get 100% critical chance and a 200% critical damage increase. This can happen once every 30 seconds or once every 60 seconds, and then it triggers for everybody in your group. And then it puts a diminishing return on yourself so that if somebody else has the ring, you just can't keep chaining it over and over. And then if somebody wants to use it, they can. Or they can put it on their follower, and their follower can trigger the little damage boost. I prefer that. But if they keep the ring it's going to make some really stupid builds. You know what I'm saying? Like when everybody just runs no kind of critical chance on their gear, you know, and then they just basically, you know, just do some crazy weird build, and everybody's going to be like, oh, well, I guess I got to go with that, you know? So, I mean, they could change anything, but like I'm saying, if it goes to light, that's a good Fate of the Fel. 10% cooldown reduction, you could actually reroll the resource cost. That's not too bad. Oh, no, wait a minute, no. Baleful Ramen, it's not that good. I don't think you need cooldown reduction for that build anyway. Anyways, we'll cut the video here. If I do 44, I'll upload that video as well, too.